Hello and welcome to India Today, SoSouth. You have joined us for the 8th day of Cracks in the Dravidian Wall. Our expert is TR Jawahar. He's the group editor of News Today, a Chennai-based media organization. We have covered a lot of ground on this. Yesterday, what we specifically did was we spoke about Modi Malai, as in the combination of Narendra Modi from BJP at the center and Annamalai at the grassroots in Tamil Nadu and the impact they are having. One of the things, Jawahar, we pointed out was that Modi is looking at the brand at a national level, and he is making what he calls softening the anti-BJP stance of Tamil Nadu and Tamilians, right? Yeah. Whereas Annamalai is working on the ground, right? And how this is actually combining into some kind of a force. While saying that, we also discussed that one of the reasons why Annamalai seems to be making an impact is because of his aggression, his oratory, and his articulation, all of which are very important to Tamil politics and politicians, right? So this is about what, this is exactly what Modi yesterday in an interview to ANI said, that Annamalai is very articulate, right? So they recognize that, and he uses him to spread his message in Tamil Nadu, right? So today's discussion, I want to continue it in that vein, right? This is, in a sense, Modi Malai part 2. So do you want to say something as an opening statement? And then we can get down to business.
Yeah, Modi Malai is a very apt description for this two leaders. As I said, it takes two to tango, and they are working in tandem. Modi takes care of the macro issues, and Annamalai does the fight at the ground level. See, you can only expect so much from a prime minister. Modi has more than reached out to the people of Tamil Nadu over the years, and particularly in the manifesto. See, he is not the prime minister of Tamil Nadu; he is the prime minister of the country. So he needs someone here to take home the message of all the messages that he has been conveying, and all the things that he has been doing for the state particularly. So Annamalai is doing a wonderful job of that, and he is single-handedly doing it. I want to come to that topic during the course of this discussion. How he is taking on the propaganda machinery of the powerful propaganda machinery of the DMK. For now, as an introductory statement, I would like to state that these two working in close coordination with each other, with a clear division of work, is working to the advantage of the BJP in a very big way and reaching the people in a very big way.
That's right. So one of the things we discussed yesterday, that they are taking on the DMK and the narrative of the opposition, is the North-South divide. And Jawahar, may I tell you that presciently we discussed this yesterday. We said we will talk about North-South divide. And by evening, when ANI put out that interview of the Prime Minister, he had also actually addressed this issue and obviously dismissed it, right? But we will actually examine it and see what is true and what is the rhetoric in the North-South divide. To begin with, to kick it off, let me tell you, I have prepared clips of the Tughlaq 54th anniversary function happened in January, I think January 15th in Chennai. Yeah, both Tharoor and Annamalai were invited to speak there. They weren't on the stage at the same time. Shashi Tharoor spoke and left, and Annamalai came in later. But Shashi Tharoor opened this topic of North-South divide, and then Annamalai almost rebutted him point by point, right? So I will first play the Shashi Tharoor clip, and then you can then get into it, open up the topic, and then we will play Annamalai's videos. So here goes Shashi Tharoor.
And this North versus South expression is the title of a book by a Tamil writer called Neelakanthan R.S., who wrote that India is rewarding the brute demographic advantage of North India over a state's performance. That the bind that Tamil Nadu and Kerala in particular, which is your state and my state, find themselves in, is there at a stage where their success is being used against them by the union government, which is seeking.
So I stopped it because we are not discussing Shashi Tharoor as much as we are trying to discuss Annamalai. So you get the drift. The long pending angst, so to say, of all southern states is that our success is being held against us. So that's the point that Shashi Tharoor made variously in different, citing different facts and others. So I'll leave the floor to you first, respond to this in a general way, and then we will go down to what Annamalai said and examine his answers one by one. Right? Yeah. So your views on this North-South.
Yeah, it is quite unfortunate that a national politician, rather an international intellectual like Shashi Tharoor should be, kicking up this old thing, something which has been buried long back. This is a DMK rhetoric basically of the 60s, where Vadakku Vazhigirathu, Terkku Theigirathu. I mean, North is growing and the South is, going down the drain. So this has been their argument all along. I remember one book by a DMK politician, Already Aruna, which says a voice for the states. But yes, that's a good book. But basically, the thrust has always been that the North is gaining and the South is being, being partial. They call it stepmotherly treatment. It's unfair on stepmothers, I would always say, to be, categorized like that. But anyway, not all stepmothers are that. They call it stepmotherly treatment in Tamil Nadu. It's a very popular word. Matrantai treatment. This is what they call it here. But that's not true. In my book also, I have not talked about, and I have not even used the word divide anywhere. I have always talked about the word disconnect. Disconnect is a milder word, but which has to be addressed in a bigger way. But divide is a very wrong word. Whether it is Aryan, Dravidian divide or North-South divide, whatever you call it. There has never been any divide. Maybe from the point of view of statistics, they can always say that the South has contributed more to the GDP or in every respect, it's a developmental. That is a fact. South has been good. And North, particularly Bihar, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, traditionally they have been the what do you call parasite states. Yeah. That was the thing. But Annamalai has very cleverly taken the fight to the future, just as Modi has done it in his manifesto. He has taken the fight to the future. I will answer that very clearly in the way Annamalai has. I will use Annamalai's own words to, counter Shashi Tharoor. No one can do it better than Annamalai himself.
Yes.
But we will do that. But it is very, very unfortunate for Shashi Tharoor to have used this kind of thing. And in 2024, 60 years after that old hat, that's old hat. 60 years after that. It is very unfortunate. Need not have compared to that kind of a sentiment because it is no longer valid now.
True. So shall I let Annamalai talk? And then you can come in after this first clip.
இது தமிழ்நாட்டுல பல ஆண்டு காலமாக இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு பெரிய பிரச்சனை. குறிப்பாக நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா வடக்கெல்லாம் வாழ்ந்துகிட்டு இருக்கு, தெற்கெல்லாம் தேஞ்சுகிட்டு இருக்கு. இது திரும்ப பாத்தீங்கன்னா பினான்ஸ் கமிஷனுக்கு போயிருவாங்க, நிதி பங்கீட பாருங்க அப்படி. சசி தரூர் அவர்கள் ஒரு பெரிய அறிவாளி. நிச்சயமாக இவங்களுக்கு தெரியாத ஒண்ணு இல்லைங்க. இன்னைக்கு இருக்கக்கூடிய ஃபார்முலா மாடிஃபைடு வெர்ஷன் ஆஃப் கட்கில் ஃபார்முலா அப்படிங்கிறது 1969 இந்திரா காந்தி அம்மையார் கொண்டு வந்தது. இந்திரா காந்தி அம்மையார் 1969 காங்கிரஸ் ஆட்சியிலே கொண்டு வந்த பொழுது நார்த் சவுத் டிஃபரண்ட் ஸ்டேட்ஸ் டிவல்யூஷன் ஆஃப் ரிசோர்சஸ் பாப்புலேஷனுக்கு 50% இந்திரா காந்தி அம்மையார் வெயிட்டேஜ் கொடுத்திருந்தாங்க. அது 100 ரூபாய் நம்ம அனுப்புறோம், 100% 50% வாஸ் பாப்புலேஷன். 1990 திரும்ப காங்கிரஸ் எல்லாம் இருக்கும் பொழுது இட் வாஸ் ஸ்டில் 35%. நம்முடைய ஆட்சியில நாம கொண்டு வந்த பினான்ஸ் கமிஷன்ல குறிப்பாக 15வது பினான்ஸ் கமிஷன் முழுமையாக நம்மோடு இருந்துச்சு. 14வது பினான்ஸ் கமிஷன் ரிப்போர்ட் கொடுத்திருந்தாங்க. முழுமையா பாத்தீங்கன்னா 14வது பினான்ஸ் கமிஷன்ல 1971 மக்கள் தொகைக்கு 17.5%, 2011 மக்கள் தொகைக்கு 10%, அப்படின்னா 27.5% வெயிட்டேஜ் வாஸ் given to population. பாரதிய ஜனதா கட்சி ஆட்சிக்கு வந்த பிறகு ஐயா குருமூர்த்தி அவர்கள் சொன்னது போல கன்சென்சஸ் எல்லா மாநிலத்தினுடைய அனுமதியை பெற்று எங்க 50-60% ஆரம்பிச்சதவங்க you have brought it down to 15%. இன்னைக்கு 15% மட்டும்தான் பாப்புலேஷனுடைய வெயிட்டேஜ்.
Yes, there you go, Jawahar.
Yeah. he's quite clear on the statistics and the history of the statistics aspect. For instance, when Indira Gandhi brought the first devolution of finances, not first but the third something, population was given the maximum weightage, and subsequently also at the time it was 50%, and then subsequently it was brought down gradually. But even at 37% or 35%, if you give more weightage to population, Bihar, UP being highly populated states, naturally got the lion's share of the resources. Whereas southern states like Kerala, Tamil Nadu, where literacy has been always quite high, population control has been good. So these states suffered. But as Annamalai rightly points out, the latest Finance Commission has recommended that it will be implemented in time probably. It has recommended that the population weightage should be 15%, and the weightage for other factors, like good governance, that has gone up to close to 40%, I think, and another 15% has been given to ecology and things like that. So for population weightage has now completely come down to 15%, which means it is an open challenge to states. Now, not to say or not to complain about population, because that was the basis. That was the basis by which resources were being allocated right from Indira Gandhi's time, and all the fronts and affronts were there, and even during Manmohan Singh's time. But now the BJP has boldly removed population or brought down the weightage of population, and now challenge the states to take care of governance, other things like, as I said, environment, and so many other factors. About 6 or 7 broad categories are there. So population is now almost the least now. So we can no longer put up the argument that the northern states are benefiting. It's a race now. Every state will have to live up to these standards and then get the resources that they want. That is what Annamalai is trying to say. And this is a big challenge and big shift in the kind of resource allocation that the BJP has brought in. So the focus is now on development and good governance and all these factors. So that is the thing here they have done here. So I don't find any value in Shashi Tharoor's argument by complaining about the past. It is about the future now.
Right. So Annamalai, I think, showed it, spoke about the statistics to show that the advantage of population is actually coming down. Right? The advantage of population that others had is actually now being controlled. And you added a nice element to it, a different element to it, which is that it's now competition. You control your population because you're not going to get extra funds because of larger population. It's being equal, right? I think that's an insight, very, very nice insight. So that done, I'll go on to the next bit of Annamalai. I have 6 clips, but they're very, very insightful. So I want to play all of them and get your views on that.
Yeah.
So this is Annamalai clip 2.
எனக்கு ரொம்ப ஒரு கஷ்டமான வேலை ஒரு அரசியல் தலைவராக ஒரு இந்திய குடிமனாக இந்த சப்ஜெக்ட பேசும்பொழுது உடம்பு மேல ஒரு கம்பளி பூச்சி ஊறுற ஃபீலிங்ல தாங்க நான் அதை பேசுறேன். ஏதோ ஒரு வாக்கியால் சண்டை, வம்பு சண்டையை போல நார்த் இந்தியா எப்படி, அங்க பாருங்க பீகார் எப்படி, தமிழ்நாடு எப்படி. நம்ம அனைவரும் இந்த அரங்கத்தில் இருக்கக்கூடிய நம் அனைவருமே ஒரு பெருமையாக இருக்கக்கூடிய தமிழர்கள்.
Yeah, கம்பளி பூச்சி, right? So just explain that, please.
கம்பளி பூச்சி, you mean?
Yes, yeah. What did he exactly say? So for
I think by Annamalai's body language, everyone should have understood what that Kambli Puchi means. I don't find an apt translation in Hindi or English, but his body language explains that.
Yeah.
See, the point is
it right?
He says talking about this not so divide is itself is so very irritating for him. It is not at all relevant any longer. That is his broad. He expresses his angst and anguish that these kind of dialogues are still being bandied about. Correct. While we should be looking at the future. The subsequent clips probably will cover that. But he's very upset that these kinds of old hat things are still being bandied about. Cliches are still being talked about at this time when we are talking about development and better things. So that is what I can gather from the small clip that you played.
Yes, yeah. I think which throws back to what you opened with, saying that this was a 60s
Yeah.
demand of the Dravidian parties, much forgotten,
It was
and
the
now they are
60s.
dusting it up.
Yeah, it was the 60s rhetoric, not even demand.
Rhetoric.
Even then, it had very little stuff in it.
Okay.
And if at all there was any stuff in it, it was because of the undoings of the Congress. Because BJP was not there in the picture. So the target was the Congress for the DMK. And it was a rhetoric at that time. It was not that Tamil Nadu was resources were being just like it stolen away like that. It was not the case. But it was a rhetoric that the DMK successfully used against the then enemy Congress. Now they are together now.
True. So I chose this clip only for the rhetoric bit, saying that how Annamalai matches rhetoric with rhetoric. When he says Kambli Puchi Poramar, he's actually just to Kambli Puchi is caterpillar, right?
Yeah, something like that, and it's a very irritable thing.
It's like a caterpillar crawling on his skin. That is what he's saying. So right. So that rhetoric is what I'm saying is most effective in his communication, right? And it's true that when a country as vast and diverse as India exists, and you go in and pinpoint one thing and say this is it's dangerous to the national narrative. That's what he wants to say, right?
Yeah.
So I'll go on to quickly to the next.
இன்னைக்கு இதே யோகிஜி அவர்கள் ஒரு கேள்வி கேட்கிறாங்க. தமிழ்நாடுனுடைய லேபர் ரெஜிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் போர்டுல 25 லட்சம் மைக்ரண்ட் லேபரை பதிவு பண்ணிருக்காங்க. அபிஷியலி கவர்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் தமிழ்நாடு 25 லட்சம் மைக்ரண்ட் லேபரர்ஸ் பதிவு டேட்டா வச்சிருக்காங்க. அன்அபிஷியலி உங்களுக்கு தெரியும் அது 40 லட்சத்தை தாண்டி இருக்கும். இன்னைக்கு யோகி அவர்கள் முதலமைச்சருக்கு போன் போட்டு, அண்ணா என்னுடைய நார்த் இந்தியன் லேபரர் தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கு வந்து வேலை செய்யறான், உங்க ஊர்ல வேலை செய்யறான், அல்லது அண்ணாமலை ஊர்ல வேலை செய்யறான், அல்லது குருமூர்த்தி அவங்க ஊர்ல வேலை செய்யறான், அல்லது தமிழ்மணி ஐயா ஊர்ல வேலை செய்யறான், அல்லது ராதாகிருஷ்ணன் ஐயா ஊர்ல வேலை செய்யறான், நல்லி குப்சாமி செட்டியா ஊர்ல வேலை செய்யறான். அந்த மனிதனை உருவாக்குவதற்கு யூபி எவ்வளவு செலவு பண்ணிருக்கோம். அதனால ஒரு யூபிக்காரர் தமிழ்நாட்டுல வேலை செய்யறாங்க, எம்ப்ளாய்மெண்ட் போர்டு ரெஜிஸ்டர்ல இருக்கு, எனக்கு ஒரு 10,000 ரூபாய் அனுப்பிச்சுட்றீங்களேன்னு கேட்டா இது என்ன ஆகும் இந்த நாடு? மைக்ரோஸ்கோபிக்கா if you keep going examining this argument, இல்ல நான் லேபர் கொடுக்கறேன் உங்களுக்கு, காஸ்ட் ஆர்பிட்ரேஜ் தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கு வருது, யூ கெட் a cheap labor நார்த் இந்தியால இருந்து, டைரக்ட்லி யூ கெட் a காஸ்ட் ஆர்பிட்ரேஜ். இந்தியன் சாப்ட்வேர் கம்பெனி முதல்ல இருந்த மாதிரி 1990 2000. இப்ப யோகி அவர்கள் நிதிஷ்குமார் அவர்கள் அந்த ஆர்குமெண்ட் நம்ம முன்னாடி வச்சா, நாளைக்கு காலையில எங்களுக்கு எந்த நார்த் இந்தியன் லேபரும் வேண்டாம், தயவு செஞ்சு நீங்க போங்கப்பா, எங்க வேலையை பார்த்துக்கிறோம் நம்மால் சொல்ல முடியுமா? அதனால்தான் திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகம் தன்னுடைய அரசியல் வாழ்விலே முதல் முறையாக ஹிந்தியில பத்திரிகை அறிப்பு கொடுத்தாங்க. ஹிந்தியில பிரஸ் ரிலீஸ் கொடுத்தாங்க. மைக்ரண்ட் லேபரர் கிரைசிஸ் வரும்போது ஹிந்தியில பிரஸ் ரிலீஸ் கொடுத்தாங்க. யாரும் போயிடாதீங்க, எல்லாம் இங்க இருங்க. ஒரு நாட்டை அப்படி நடத்த முடியாது சார். We cannot run a country like that.
Pretty devastating, isn't it? In terms of both rhetoric and facts.
See, the question of migrant laborers into Tamil Nadu, not just from UP but Bihar and Odisha and many of the northeastern states, is a major issue here, but it's a very nuanced issue. To put it in a lighter vein, just a couple of days back, our Seaman, who Nam Tamil Kachi fame Seaman, he has a penchant for this kind of raking up this kind of non-Tamil people walking into Tamil Nadu. So he was saying that he is unable to raise money, and he thought of begging for money at traffic signals, and even that he found North Indian migrants doing that. So virtually even begging they have taken over. He was saying that. So that is, he was saying it in a lighter vein, but that actually reflects what Annamalais says, that they are everywhere here. As I said, maybe the Aryan invasion, Dravidian invasion, everything have now mingled here, and Tamil Nadu will not go anywhere without the North Indian laborers. I have many friends, many people in the industries also. They said they are also very good. Our people in Tamil Nadu are not ready to work for anything less than more than 8 hours or 7 hours, and they need so many things. But these people from the north, they come with their families, they stay here with their families. Every year they take about a year or so, or a week or so for a holiday, for some function. If it is UP, it is something. If it is Bihar, it may be something. They go back and then come back, and they are ready to do real hard work, and they are ready to learn the skills, which is not our people in Tamil Nadu are not doing it. So Annamalai is right in pointing out that if the North Indian migrants were to go back to to their home places, we will not be able to find labor here. Any industry,
For the-
construction, hotel. If you go to a hotel now, any restaurant now, we are already familiar with North Indian dishes, but we have all North Indian from Northeast everywhere, and they have learned Tamil. And incidentally, this language barrier has been broken because all the employers are also now learning Hindi to deal with the employees. It's a kind of cultural and language cauldron that is going on here. So we are dependent on the migrant labor. That's what it is. We are dependent on the
True.
migrant labor.
True. So, for the benefit of viewers who might not be from Tamil Nadu and I think one of the things where he hit home was to mention the press release in Hindi. So, tell us more about that.
In fact,
I think
yeah, I wanted to send you that. A couple of days back, I saw an invitation posted by the DMK party with the Dayanandi Maran's photograph. I could not make head or tail out of it because I don't know Hindi actually, but it was fully in Hindi. It was fully in Hindi. Central Madras, there is a sizable Hindi population, and there is not even a translation from Hindi to Tamil or English. It was fully in Hindi. And our Annans have taken with full vigor and rigor to the G's Hindi language. So not just what Annamalai mentioned. Even in Coimbatore, Annamalai's own constituency, which has a sizable North Indian population, Hindi pamphlets are being circulated by the DMK candidates and even the ADMK candidates. So this is something a leap, but from the point of view of DMK alone, it is a leap of language. It is a leap of lingo leap. Let's call it lingo leap. They have done that, and they do it just like that. For them, it's not a big thing, they change the towels to suit the rationalism, switch a yellow towel. That's what I call, yellow towel rationalism. This is a very minor thing compared to that. Switching a language.
So that's where I think BJP and some of the central leaders and the ministries, I'm referring to the Home Ministry, they sometimes act stupid in trying to say, do this in Hindi, do this in Hindi. Hindiization of Tamil Nadu is happening, and I can see it. Each time I come, I'm surprised at how many people, like your daughter, right from 90s, she was a great fan of Shah Rukh Khan, and she, unlike you, who's an encyclopedia in Tamil songs and poetry and everything, she was totally into Hindi music, right? And I can see that at every restaurant I go to whenever I come to Chennai, that even Tamilians are actually talking to the waiters in Hindi, right? So some of our friends, including you, ordering in Hindi is something unheard of. I couldn't have thought of, right? I think BJP misses this. Naturally, something is happening there, and it keeps poking in once in a while, very unwisely.
Yeah, I have something to say on this. Now, of late, last 1 week, Nadda was here, Amit Shah was here, and a few other leaders from the North Indian netas were here talking in Hindi. And there were people like H. Raja and even L. Murugan trying hard to translate, trying really hard to translate the chaste Hindi into even pedestrian Tamil. Now, let me say two schemes of the center. One is called PM Poshan Shakti Nirman Abhiyan. The other is called PM Kisan Urja Suraksha Evam Uttan Mahabhiyan. So do you really want to put us through this kind of ringer here? What is the necessity? How can you expect L. Murugan or Raja to translate this? They try to explain what it is, but who can make anything of it? Forget about all these long-winded phrases which the Babus have invented and which the leaders are uttering. They can at least avoid this. It's a big list I have, but I am just telling you a few tongue twisters. It twists my mother tongue actually. Tongue twisters. These are the two things I just noted down. There are many. Even something like Atmanirbhar. There was a video of Kanimuri, really struggling to utter that word, and I don't blame her. And then you have this Amrit Kal. Who understands this Amrit Kal? Word is there in Tamil also. Amrit Kal.
So simple.
There is something called Achedin. There is a beautiful word in, even Modi can say it. There is a beautiful phrase in Tamil, Nalla Naal. You know that. Nalla Naal is so very pleasant and auspicious. Why Achedin? It is very bache-like for these people, Hindi people, to do this kind of childish, pull this childish pranks on we Tamilians. We want to learn Hindi. We come forward to do it for our own necessity and for our own interest. But this kind of long-winded thing, but as I often say, Indira Gandhi was very smart. She took her 20-point program as Irud Amsa Dittam. At the time, there was only All India Radio. And she took it to every corner of Tamil Nadu with that simple translation as Iruvudu Amsa Dittam. It was a big hit, though she didn't survive that election. That's a different matter. They can easily do these things here. That mental alienation will go away,
Right. So now since we have diverted a bit, I'll draw you back into Annamalai and his missile on North-South divide. One more.
அதே ஆர்குமெண்ட்ல கொங்கு பகுதியில் இருக்கக்கூடிய 8 மாவட்டங்கள் தமிழகத்தினுடைய 54% டைரக்ட் இன்கம் கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்றாங்க. இப்ப கொங்கு பகுதியில் இருக்கக்கூடிய கோயம்புத்தூரோ, திருப்பூரோ, பொள்ளாச்சியோ, நாமக்கல்லோ, ஈரோடோ, சேலமோ அவங்க சரி நம்ம கணக்கு போடலாம், கணக்கு மாதிரி கணக்கு போடலாம். கோயம்புத்தூர்ல மொத்த இன்கம் எவ்வளவு, மொத்த எக்ஸ்பெண்டிச்சர் எவ்வளவு ரோடு போட்டேன்னா மிச்ச பார்ட் என்னங்க ஆகும்? இன்னைக்கு தமிழகத்திலே திருவாரூர் கலைஞர் கருணாநிதி அவர்கள் பிறந்த திருவாரூருடைய கிராஸ் எக்கனாமிக் அவுட்புட் தமிழகத்துல 1.5%, 1.5% தமிழகத்தினுடைய கிராஸ் எக்கனாமிக் அவுட்புட் திருவாரூர். சென்னை, செங்கல்பட்டு, கோயம்புத்தூர், காஞ்சிபுரம் 4 மாவட்டங்கள் 34 விழுக்காடு. அப்படி இந்த 4 மாவட்டங்களும் நாங்க கிராஸ் எக்கனாமிக் அவுட்புட் 34% கொடுக்கிறோம், எங்களுக்கு 34% ஆஃப் ரெவென்யூ நீ கொடுப்பேன்னா தமிழ்நாடா இருக்குமா?
He is relishing this, isn't he? He is really twisting the knife now. Yeah.
Now, I will bring this statement of Annamalai, which he has been saying subsequently also, and even earlier. I will divide this into 3 parts. First thing is that Annamalai, being a management graduate, IIM graduate particularly, is able to go into the nuances of the statistics vis-a-vis the country also. For instance, he had earlier used the word arbitrage. These are not the words that a common, normal speaker uses. So that shows us educated approach to everything. He gives a different perspective to all the issues that are here. That is one thing. The second aspect is nationalism that comes out here. But before that, let me say this: how he exposes the absolute statistical paradox of doing this kind of calculations and making them a political weapon. So now he says, you talk about South and North. He says, let me now take Tamil Nadu itself. Yes, place like Tiruvarur is contributing only 1.5%. And now it's other districts, I mean a district like Tiruvarur, and other districts in Kongu Nadu and the Tiruvallur district, Chennai, are all contributing bigger percentages. Now, what if Chennai, Tiruvallur or Coimbatore district claim that we want more of the share of the Tamil Nadu revenues itself? So he is now taking, putting the battle into the DMK playground. Now if you apply that logic, then this logic is also valid. If you apply that logic, this logic is also valid.
Correct.
So these people will now have no recourse to Annamalai's argument, because the district imbalance is very high here. If you are talking about national imbalance, the district imbalance. But above all, he is displaying his patriotic and nationalistic mindset also here. The third thing, which is the highlight of this, he says that India is our country. We must think national. You should not no longer carry on with your parochial and regional kind of mindsets. Borders are there, linguistic borders are there, geographical borders are there, diversity is there, distinctions are there, discriminations are there also. But that is not purely about North-South or anything about that. We have to think of India as a whole. And that is the reason why he earlier quoted the Finance Commission recommendations, where, it will be very equitable, and that will throw a challenge to the states to grow, to develop. They will all be on the same So Annamalai, in one stroke, by this one speech, as brought out his personal capabilities, taken the argument to the Tamil Nadu, inverted the argument, made it upside down, and also displayed his nationalist credentials also.
So, on to the fifth, where I think he is talking of, if I have not mixed up the clips, he is now talking of the dangers for Tamil Nadu, not just because of this north-south. He's looking at the future and saying what can happen.
தமிழ்நாட்டில் நம்ம இன்வெஸ்டர் சமிட் நடத்தி இருக்கோம். நமக்கு பணம் வேண்டும், மிக முக்கியம் பணம் வேண்டும். நமக்கு 6,64,000 கோடி நமக்கு வந்திருக்கு. நமக்கு முடிந்து 3 நாள்ல குஜராத் இன்வெஸ்டர் சமிட் நடத்தியிருக்காங்க. 26 லட்சம் கோடி. 2023 பிப்ரவரியில யூபி இன்வெஸ்டர் சமிட் 33 லட்சம் கோடி. 2022 கர்நாடகா இன்வெஸ்டர் சமிட் 10 லட்சம் கோடி. இன்னைக்கு யூபியிலேயே மோசமான பின்தங்கிய பேக்வர்ட் எல்லா இண்டிகேட்டர்லயும் இந்தியாவிலேயே மோசமா இருக்கக்கூடிய பூர்வஞ்சல் புண்டில்கண்ட் அவங்க அட்ராக்ட் பண்ண இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் மட்டுமே 9,74,000 கோடி. திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்தினுடைய அமைச்சர்கள் புரிந்து கொள்ள வேண்டும். மணி will always see the future. Money will never see the past.
Yes, I just hand over to you.
Yeah, once again we see the IIM management graduate Annamalai. He says that money will look at the future and not at the past. So that's one thing.
Right.
See, when Annamalai first brought up this issue of other states attracting more investments than Tamil Nadu, immediately these people, raised a hue and cry saying that Gujarat is Modi's land, UP is also Modi's land. So obviously the central government has pushed. So this was a argument that they gave, and they even got away with it to a large extent. But the fact remains that many of the industries that came here are also leaving Tamil Nadu because of various aspects, mainly corruption. And they left Karnataka also because the earlier times. But here, mainly because of corruption, they have to meet. Annamalai also subsequently says that they have to meet the son-in-law, son, and all those auditors who are the chamchas of the DMK family. So the thing is that many industrialists have also left and they have moved to Andhra. Within the south itself, they have moved to Andhra, Karnataka, and all these places. But these people have been arguing that those are favored children of the central government, and so they are getting the investment, but that's not true. But they are also providing the infrastructure, providing the friendly approach to them. And for that matter, these people have always been going against Adani. But Adani has made a huge investment in Tamil Nadu, actually. So in this whole campaign, Stalin has not spoken a single word against Adani.
Neither is Mamta.
Money is money. Future money is money.
Nor is the left government. Yeah. I was saying neither is Mamta nor is the left government or even the Congress, because Rajasthan in Ashok Gehlots time, Ashok Gehlot sat next to Adani on an investment. Anyway, so he was talking about the future. Basically, I think he is trying to tell the South as a whole and Tamil Nadu in particular that yes, we have been doing very well so far. But is this going to be how things are going to be forever? I think that is where this next clip comes in, where it's very eye-opening.
Napoleon Bonaparte அருமையா சொல்லுவாரு, never wake up China. China வெளிப்பட்டுறாதீங்க. Once China wakes up, the world will tremble. நான் சொல்றேங்க, never wake up UP. One UP wakes up, நம்ம ஜிங்கோயிஸ்டிக்கா தமிழனா சொன்னா ஓ தமிழ்நாடு is in trouble. இந்தியனா சொன்னா once UP wakes up, it will power India. 23 கோடி மக்கள், அவங்க கிராஸ் என்ரோல்மெண்ட் ரேஷியோ 36% இருக்கிறாங்க. If they hit 40%, southern states உடைய மொத்த எஜுகேஷன் அவுட்புட் யூபி மட்டும் கொடுக்கும். சசி தரூர் சொன்ன ஆர்குமெண்ட் நான் கவுண்டர் பண்றேன். I am just reversing it. When UP's gross enrollment ratio hits 40% in a matter of 3.5 years, உங்களுக்கு ஒரு லேபர் நமக்கு தமிழ்நாட்டு கிடைக்க மாட்டாங்க. தமிழ்நாடு is in serious trouble 2028, 2029. காரணம் மேனுஃபேக்சரிங் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி யூபியை நோக்கி போச்சுனாங்க, we are in serious trouble. அதை நோக்கி நம்ம அரசியல் பயணிக்கவே இல்ல. இன்னும் நார்த் சவுத் பேசுறோம், சத்தமே இல்லாம. 2016 வரைக்கும் உத்தரப்பிரதேசனுடைய மொத்த மருத்துவக் கல்லூரி 12ங்க. மொத்த மருத்துவக் கல்லூரி 12ங்க. 23 கோடி மக்கள் 12 மருத்துவக் கல்லூரியில போய் படிச்சாங்க. கடந்த 4 ஆண்டுகள்ல உத்தரப்பிரதேசத்திலே புதிதாக உருவாக்கப்பட்டிருக்கக்கூடிய மருத்துவக் கல்லூரி 32. எங்க என்ன ஸ்கேல்ல திங்க் பண்றாங்க பாரு, என்ன அம்பிஷன்ல போறாங்க பாரு. 6 லேன் 8 லேன் ஃபைட்டர் ஜெட் அக்கௌண்ட் பேசிட்டு இருக்காங்க. 9 ஃபங்க்ஷனிங் ஏர்போர்ட்ஸ் வச்சிருக்காங்க. அதனால ஒரு பெருமை மிகுந்த தமிழனாக, பெருமை மிகுந்த இந்தியனாக நம்முடைய பொலிட்டிக்கல் நெரேட்டிவ் ஷிஃப்ட் ஆகி வேற பக்கம் போகணும். டெவலப்மெண்ட் பத்தி பேசணும், தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கு இருக்கக்கூடிய ரீஜனல் டிஸ்பாரிட்டியை பத்தி பேசணும்.
Apologies to viewers and to Jawahar. It's a long clip, but I thought it was very, very, what you call, hard hitting, and it opens your eyes in terms of what is happening elsewhere in the country.
He has, sounded a clear warning, not just to the government of the day here, but also to the industries. That, they should also wake up to the fact that, you can't keep saying that UP is getting a line share because it is down. People don't know really what is happening in the north, in UP.
Correct.
As I said, it is a challenge, it is a race now. So instead of preparing for the race, if you are still talking about north-south divide and then, going with an inferiority complex, which should not be there at all. But our state is a superior state. It's a very good state. People are very industrious, entrepreneurial skills are very high, a very enterprising state. It has got a very big youth population. So if we keep putting them down by saying that, this is not going to work. This is bad for the state. It is a big step backward. If we keep saying that UP is growing and we are not growing, compete with them. It's not difficult for. One more thing is that when he says that when UP wakes up and manufacturing will go there, Tamil Nadu will really be in trouble. I'm telling you, Tamil Nadu, not just Tamil Nadu, several other southern states will really be in trouble. So they will have to definitely shore up. For that, the main thing is to avoid the corruption here. The main problem with Tamil Nadu, where industry is being, upset. Industry is very upset because of the corruption that they have to face. Even during the DMK period, the last 10 years, right from, or 20 years, has been very bad for Tamil Nadu from the point of view of business and industry. So this problem is there.
But tell me, is this an imaginary problem? It isn't. It's a real issue, isn't it? The disbursal of funds is a real problem, but there the opposition is not being disingenuous. The problem exists. I think all of us realize that, and we acknowledge that. But I think where the problem is in the disingenuity comes in portraying it as Modi's created problem, isn't it? It has been there for 60 years and it's part of your constitution. Yeah, so just tell me a little more about it.
Yeah, as I said, if there is anyone to blame for all these north-south divide, if you are talking about, so then you start with the Congress. Then. Modi is here only for the last 10 years. What about the 50-odd or 60-odd years before that? What happened then?
Right.
In fact, Tamil Nadu got a big thrust in industry and education in every sector. And whatever is happening now, it's because of the residuary thing that the Congress under Bhaktavachalam, Kamaraj, R. Venkataraman's initiatives here. So Tamil Nadu is still benefiting from all those kind of schemes. Even the new noon meal scheme, of course, MGR made it big, but it was originally started by Kamaraj here. So, but still, if you are going to say that the North is ahead of the South, start with the Congress, not now. What BJP is trying to do is that create a level playing field and make everyone fight in that field. Now, Annamalais warning is very ominous and potent for the Tamil Nadu industry as well as Tamil Nadu government and people also, because people will also have to rise up. See, as I say often, culturally, Tamil Nadu is Temple Nadu, right? And in terms of industry, in terms of enterprise, Tamil Nadu has always been a top-notch Nadu. But unfortunately, thanks to flowing liquor, Tamil Nadu is today, TN is today Tasmac Nadu. And thanks to the genetic obsession with cinema, it is now Tinsel Nadu. And we talked about Tamil Nadu being a tinderbox Nadu also. So all the wrong TNs we have, while the right TNs are, have been subdued. So we have to come up from that kind of thing. Annamalai, I think, is a kind of, from what I see of him of late, and from these clippings also, he doesn't want to live in the past. He doesn't want to clearly live in the past. He says, let us take this challenge. Let us look at the all India perspective. Let us not keep, if you want to look at the state perspective, then there is enough inequality within the state itself. So when you are not able to address the inequality in the state, what right, moral right have you to talk about the inequality at the national level? So let us look at the whole thing as Indians. We are Indians first. That's what I think. So because thanks to my national upbringing, it is always India first for me. And my whole grouse is that Tamil Nadu is not in the mainstream, and Modi and Annamalai are now trying to drag it into the mainstream. Annamalai is pushing it, Modi is pulling it, so it's a kind of tandem that they are working.
Great. So you brought us back to very nicely. You brought us back to Modi Malai 2, which is the topic of our discussion today. So now I will play one or two clips of Modi. He said this. Modi is replying in the Lok Sabha, I think, to the president's address in the last session, and he addressed this North-South divide. And our case is that Annamalai is kind of amplifying Modi's message, but in this case, it's possible that Modi took from Annamalai's message, right? So I'll just play.
आप मुझे बताइए, झारखंड का कोई आदिवासी बच्चा अगर ओलंपिक के खेल के अंदर जाकर के मेडल लेकर आएगा, तो क्या हम ये सोचते हैं कि तो झारखंड का बच्चा है? पूरा देश कहता है हमारा देश है। जब एक झारखंड का बच्चे में प्रतिभा देखते हैं और देश हजारों करोड़ रुपया, हजारों लाखों रुपया खर्च करके उसको अच्छे कोचिंग के लिए दुनिया के किसी देश में भेजता है, तो हम ये सोचेंगे कि खर्चा झारखंड के लिए हो रहा है, क्या देश के लिए नहीं हो रहा है? हम क्या करने लगे हैं, क्या भाषा बोलने लगे?
So he's reflecting what Annamalai said, right? Kamlipuchi. He's saying, what the hell are we saying? What are we talking about? Could you read the subtitling? Was good enough? You understood?
Yeah. More than that, the body language. The body language conveys more than the subtitles. Anyway,
Yes.
See, the point here is BJP has always been accused of being centrist, too centrist, trying to bring an uniformity to a diverse country. So he is upset with that. That is the basic reflection of his angst, which is subconsciously there in him. He says, if somebody from Jharkhand, or for that matter, any tribal area or any area, if he comes there, why do you want to put the label of the state or his caste or his community on him? Why don't you call him Indian? See, this is something, he is directly countering the kind of argument, that the point that everybody is trying to say. Yes, we want to have an uniformity, but uniformity not based on, regional thing or this kind of thing, but uniformity based on Indianness. So that is what it is. The uniformity is Indianness. Okay. So this is what Annamalai has also been saying. Don't keep talking about this divides any longer. Talk about the country, Indian first, nation first. So nation first should be our credo. So this message between the two of them, they have tried very hard to push it to the most divisive or most parochial state in this country, which is Tamil Nadu, the island at the southeast bottom of India, as I often say. So this message is now sinking into the people of Tamil Nadu.
So you'll enjoy this next clip.
Yeah,
हमारे यहाँ वैक्सीन, देश के करोड़ों लोगों को वैक्सीन का, हम ये कहेंगे वैक्सीन तो उस कोने में बनी थी, इसलिए हक उनका है, देश को नहीं मिल सकती? कैसा सोच सकते हैं क्या? वैक्सीन उस शहर में बनी थी, इसलिए देश के और भागों को इसका लाभ नहीं मिलेगा, ये सोचेंगे क्या? क्या सोच बन गई?
And if you permit me, I'll play one more, which I think.
जिन राज्यों में कोयला है वो कह दें कोयला नहीं मिलेगा, ये हमारी संपत्ति है, जाओ तुम अंधेरे में गुजारा करो, देश कैसे चलेगा? आदरणीय सभापति जी, ऑक्सीजन कोविड के समय हमारे यहाँ ऑक्सीजन की संभावनाएं पूर्वी कार्य में जो उद्योग है उसके साथ देश के पूरे देश को ऑक्सीजन की जरूरत थी। अगर उस समय पूरब के लोग कह करके बैठ जाते ऑक्सीजन को हम नहीं दे सकते, हमारे लोगों की जरूरत है, देश को कुछ नहीं मिलेगा, क्या होता देश का? उन्होंने संकट झेल करके भी देश को ऑक्सीजन पहुंचाया। देश के अंदर ये भाव तोड़ने का क्या प्रयास हो रहा है? क्या इस प्रकार से देश को हमारा टैक्स, हमारे मनी किस भाषा में बोला जा रहा है? ये देश के भविष्य के लिए नया खतरा पैदा करने वाली।
My tax, my money. What is this new language?
quite a lot of Raudram, that is, I quoted Bharatiya who said Raudram, quite a lot of that. Now, when I said it takes two to tango regarding Annamalai and Modi, now I should slightly alter that phrase and say that it takes two angry men to tango.
At least in,
We
at
now
least in
see
Tamil Nadu
both.
sense.
Yeah, we now see two angry men with abundance of righteous indignation saying that, what's all this nonsense about regionalism and parochialism? Why don't we think of the nation? Why don't we think of the country and all that?
Right.
So that's really a new approach. Completely, he is boldly taking on all these regional satraps with all their kind of local thing. So it's not, the tax belongs to the entire country. And he says that it is our tax, not any individual state's tax. But this particular argument will take quite some time to sink in because, because Modi might have breached the cultural barrier or the cultural battle. But the propaganda battle or the communication battle, cultural battle, he might have won. But the communication battle still has to go a long way in Tamil Nadu. So that feeling is still there. For all the faults, DMK has definitely to some extent run away with the perception battle. And somebody like TR Rajan, who is a well-educated person, who was the finance minister and who is the IT minister, he also shows facts to counter Nirmala Sitharaman or everybody. And he says that we have been, given the
counter very well, very strongly.
That we have been given the short shrift. You can't really dismiss him very lightly. I can dismiss Sashi Tharoor very lightly, but not PTR Rajan. So he is also giving counter arguments with statistics. So it is a war of not only war of words, but it is also a war of numbers. That is very important here. But one thing I will tell you here is that there are center schemes which are called CS and center-sponsored schemes, CSs. It's a big list. Many central Nirmala Sitharaman has been quoted as saying that around 10,000 crores have been allocated to Tamil Nadu alone over the last 4 or 5 years. I went through the list, and many of these schemes are still in the realm of announcements. And many of them have materialized also, and people will have to go through that in great detail. It is not possible in such a short interview. But one thing is here, who are the biggest beneficiary of the central schemes? It is the DMK and its Parivar here. Whenever the central government announces a port or an airport or AIMS or any kind of a central scheme here, immediately this co-bonds, Udanpirappugal, both DMK and ADMK, but more predominantly DMK, they buy up a lot of property along those places. Land acquisition is still a state subject. The central schemes also, we need land, but land acquisition is a state subject. Our guys are very smart. They buy up a lot of property from the farmers and the local here, Pata lands and everything. So they're very, as Annamalai said, these people are good at looking at the future. They don't have to be management graduates. They are very rustic Karaivetis, are very good at these management kind of things. So they buy up all the properties. They also, tinker with the registration formalities, tinker with the land classification formalities. Already these have been done in anticipation of the central government project. So once again, the beneficiaries are the Dravidian Parivar, the Dravidian family, and not the people. Even for projects that have not materialized.
Yeah. So I remember Annamalai actually specifically pointed this out, saying that if there is a central scheme, firstly, what they do is buy up land and then they push up the cost of that project, and it becomes unviable. Right. So, he's there. He's reaching every nook and cranny and then kind of putting his 2 bits in. Of course, it might take a long time for it to actually kind of like
the communication. The communication battle. The communication.
Guns of Navaron, you remember, Jawahar? Yeah. The Guns of Navaron, you remember? Guns of Navaron, I think. They're blasting up the dam, or was it the sequel to Guns of Navaron? They're blasting a dam.
Guns.
And I think this is the sequel to Guns of Navaron. There is a dam which they are blowing up.
From Navaron. It is forced from
Navaron. Yeah. There's a line there. It's a give nature its time. Right? So what he's done is he's blasted it, but then he's waiting for nature, water to hit the dam, and then nature to kind of take its course. I think that's what will happen. The kind of messaging that Modi and Annamalai are doing, I think it'll take time, but it's effective. I think that seems to be very clear right now. Would you say that?
Surely, as I said earlier, the barrier to the first, these DMK people are running away with the communication battle to a large extent.
Yeah.
Even an educated person like PTR Painavil Rajan to the ordinary folk like Raja and somebody like Udayanidhi Stalin was going around with the brick for the aims that did not come up. Today he is calling Prime Minister 28 Paisa Prime Minister. These are all very cheap kind of language and tricks that they are saying. But then the BJP is completely dependent on Annamalai to counter the whole thing. One man is now taking on the entire huge DMK propaganda or mispropaganda, wrong propaganda machinery. Machinery. So the point here is, to sum up, what I will say is that I'll quote a saying from somebody. See, the first thing is they talked about eradicating Sanatana Dharma. I'm talking about eradicating all these corrupt politicians, both in ADMK as well as the DMK. They are equally spread out. It is quite egalitarian. Corruption is quite egalitarian and very secular in Tamil Nadu. It doesn't see any caste, creed, or community. So there is a saying that, you put one politician into the river, it is pollution. You dump all politicians into the river, it is solution. So I think this is what must happen in Tamil Nadu. This is what we are looking at in Tamil Nadu. And I think Annamalai is the best solution for this.
Pollution. Good. I think I got my headline for the episode. Annamalai is the solution for the pollution. Okay, great.
And yesterday you mentioned something like Annamalai becoming a PM and going. No, I wouldn't want that, because I did not even want him to contest the local Lok Sabha elections for the reasons that I stated. But I would want him to become I would want him to become the chief minister here first. And like his mentor Modi,
people are saying it in that order. They're saying it in that order. CM and then PM.
Yeah. Like his mentor Modi, he can move to Delhi. His age is on his side. He's just about 40. So Annamalai has a lot of time. So first let him, bring the solution here on the lines that I have said. Let him put these people into the Coom River and then move to the bigger thing. So we need him as chief minister here first.
Sure.
So that should not be diluted in any way.
So we have spoken about Annamalai's challenges.
Yeah.
Right. But now I want to throw a challenge to you, which is that we will discuss DMK tomorrow. Yeah. And having said all that we have said and all that you have said, I want you to tomorrow talk about what are the good points of DMK that they have arrived here in the position, right? So you'll have to tell me everything that's good about DMK tomorrow. Good in a political sense, in a political strength sense.
Why do you want to include DMK? Why do you want to talk only about DMK? It was Jayalalitha and her ADMK who gave BJP the biggest snubbing in 2014, wiped out. So we'll just talk about Jayalalitha also. Only then we will have some context. We'll talk about the Dravidian politics as such. Done. But since DMK is the main contender, they will get the lion's share of our time tomorrow. Okay?
Done. So see you tomorrow. Thanks for today. I think it was. Yeah. I quite loved the chronology in which we did. I hope our viewers also liked it. I hope you liked it.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.